Yep, g'day, Steve and Kerry from offthegridnoz.com. Anzac Day 2017, just giving you a bit of an update. We've finally got our growing garden started. Yes, that's what happens when you try and build a whole new property up in 7 months. And yes, don't worry about the saws and everything in the background. On Anzac Day I've got everything out and I've turned this place into a construction zone. But anyway, what we've started to do here, you see those pipes there? They're actually what you would call, they're normally flow through nutrient. We run this pair here, 24 positions, the same as we ran at the other property. We had no reticulation on the other property, so they were static pipes, meaning they're filled to a certain level. There's a little overflow hole in the end there, on both ends. You put nutrient in there, and I kid you not, we wanted to take this video so as you could see how well they progress over such a short period of time. We were turning over bok choys and lettuces in about 5 weeks with no reticulation. So that's that section of pipe work. Down below we've started on the wicking beds. Got our little seedlings in there, you can hardly see them, but these are orthodox style wicking beds. Bit of PVC tube, you know, the old perforated poly tube, some gravel, a sand bed, usual sort of story. There's a million people do videos on these on the internet. There's a million different ways to do them. All they have is basically an overflow, no reticulation, fill pipe up there just to fill the water or add your nutrients, and a discharge pipe down there set 1 inch below dirt level. But yeah, you can look up how to build these wicking beds if you're in an area that has a water issue. Well, I got to tell you, you know, the hydroponics in the pipes like that, no power required because they're static. Definitely the way to go. We conserve water in a vastly different way than what we used to up the front. We had orthodox beds up the front to start with, and they were just a disaster. Down here we've got another set of pipes, another 72 positions. These are full of bok choy, pak choy. Kerry can put a bit of an info at the bottom of a bit of this if she wants. But yeah, there's a myriad of different greens in there. The leafy greens go especially well in this. Now these two I'm going to retic. There's going to be a barrel down in that corner, and I'm going to, because there's 52 plants on those two runs. That's going to have a pipe comes from that one there, goes down to that one there, and up the other end it'll have a feed line into it, so the water will come across in that end, down this pipe, down to that pipe, and then back to the tank. So that will actually be a reticulated one. It'll be the first time we've ever bothered to reticulate. More wicking beds. We've got 4 of these half barrels done so far. Same drill as the last 2 I just showed you. We're around this whole perimeter of this area, we're probably going to have around about 15 to 20 of these. And over this side we've got the cheapest 100 litre growing barrels, wicking bed growing barrels you can buy or build. Each one of these represents no more than 20 bucks. 10 bucks for half a barrel, 1.5 meters of 75mm poly pipe in the bottom, perforated poly, a few shovelfuls of screenings, little tiny bit of 25mm overflow, a little bit of 30mm fill pipe, same drill, stones in the bottom, round the pipe, coil round the pipe, a layer of impervious material, impervious to not water but impervious to the soil, like we use shade cloth on some of these, and I had some proper garden weed mat I used on some. But yeah, each barrel represents about 20 bucks for a 100 litre barrel. Now in there we've got kale growing, 4 kale in each one because they're big barrels. So yeah, this is, Kerry calls this Kale Corner. We've got 4 there. Over our side here we've got another 2. There will be 16 of these spread around the outside. Down here we've got some of last year's, or what, our remnants of our Dutch buckets. You can look up Dutch buckets. Dutch buckets are a bit like these pipes here that I just explained. The Dutch buckets don't have retic in them. They're just filled with nutrients up to the right level. They have overflows built into them so that when you fill the nutrients up, you know when it's full because there's a little hole on the side. And a little tiny net pot goes in the top. We grew peppers and all manner of stuff out of them, and they lose bugger all water. One of those buckets won't need replenishing for weeks and weeks. So once you do the initial setup with this stuff, it's bloody amazing as far as water use goes. So yeah, wicking barrels, 20 bucks a pop. Dutch buckets, cheap old, you know, from the baker's shop or somewhere, white plastic 20-litre bucket. Work great. Split barrels with just wicking beds and overflows, bloody brilliant. 100 litres in each one. Be substantially less water. Now, wandering over the other side, I've got tools everywhere. Here's what happens: you have Anzac day off and you wind up working. Put the rails up there. Those rails are actually going to hold the same thing as the pipes over there. So we're surrounding the whole kitchen. The kitchen, as you know, if you've looked at other videos, is in the middle. You come around the outside, these pipes will come up this side, so that the whole thing, including the back that I'm just starting on, you can see the new timber up there, the whole kitchen will be encompassed by hydroponics, Dutch bucket hydroponic, reticulated hydroponic, and yet again more of these $20 wicking barrels. Alright, they're bloody fantastic. You get 4 plants in each one, got 300mm depth. My formula for it, I'm going to whiz over there before I turn this off. But anyway, that's what we've been doing for the last three days we've had off. We've now got about 140 plants in. We're running a bit late because we were too busy building. That one actually, I forgot to seal one of the bungs up on the bottom. These barrels come with bungs. Don't forget to seal the fucking bung up. That one I forgot. I got to drag it out. And if you ever try to move 100 litres of soil and water, pretty heavy. But yes. Anyway, so that's we're going to have 16 of these barrels around the outside of the building. Those ones. Once I finish making the rest. Static hydroponics in this top end because it's a doorway to traverse, so it's just too awkward, too much mucking around to get a retic line back to the tank, which will be way over in the far corner of the other side of the kitchen. But these ones we will retic down this wall and across the back wall over the other side. So combination of reticulated pipework, static pipework, wicking bed barrels in 2 forms, like I said, split in half to do shallow beds. The only drawback of splitting them that way is you only get a 200mm bed, but they're great for strawberries and all sorts of stuff. Doesn't require, you wouldn't put a root vegetable in there obviously. But yeah, there you go. It's all coming along very nicely. Kerry wanted me to, I wasn't going to do this video for another couple of days till we had a bit more in. I'll show you my little production line, and then this is what it takes to high speed this stuff. This is what we had to buy, basically just so I could run madly around and do it all. We have mushroom compost. We got 4 metres in. Yeah, I mean, it ran us a few bucks. A 20mm aggregate. That's what you put in the bottom of all the wicking beds, up to the just above the pipeline, the perforated pipeline. It becomes another way of holding more water below the sand level. Once you put the stones and the pipe in, you have to put some sand on top, about 1 inch, and that becomes like the wick to the dirt. We bought the obligatory 20 bags of horse poo. That's all that's left. So we got the I made a mix up to go in these barrels, and it's basically 3/4 compost as far as mushroom compost goes. It's about 10% horse poo just for a bit of additive. It's the stones in the bottom by about 4 shovelfuls per thing, and what I added to it was just some very clayey, very fine clayey soil. Only about 3 shovelfuls per wheelbarrow because the clay has a mineral content in it. The clay just needs other things to open the minerals up or allow the minerals to escape from it. So I put about 4 shovels full of this into every wheelbarrow as well. So you wind up with a really cool mix. But yeah, so that's the gear we had to buy just to high speed this, because we're throwing so much down in such a hurry. But yeah, if you're in a dry area, and I know a lot of you live in arid regions of New South Wales, and I know there's a few other buggers like us are in Victoria, but if you're looking for a way to save water, guys, you've got to think outside the square. We are going to have a few ground beds on the other sides of these 2 walls. Throw some pumpkins and potatoes in, but they're going to be very I'm going to run a little bit of Aggie pipe through there and give them some sort of a reservoir as well. But yeah, there you go. We finally got Anzac Day 2017, our first I think we canned them about 170 seedlings in, all in the 3 days, because we're late. But yeah, you shouldn't leave it this late. A lot of this stuff goes real well. We got broccoli. I'll get Kerry to make a list up. She can put a post up about it if you're even interested. But yep, today, rest of today is down there putting up this timber work. I've turned the outdoor kitchen into a workshop. Making up trusses on the floor. Yeah, it's a bit of a dull day today too, but never mind. Any day you get something done, get some productivity going. Kerry's crawling the walls with joy over the fact that we've finally got some growing happening. We haven't been able to touch anything as far as growing goes for 7 months, 8 months now while we've been building. I know that's not a long time, but it is for us. We like our leafy greens, and you gotta love these buckets. Just remember, $20, 100 litre, self-watering, holds about 15 litres, 10-15 litres in the bottom. Fill them up and forget them. No evaporation. Alright. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at this, and we might make another video on how we actually pop these together. Like I said, there's a million people who've got videos up on how to build this stuff. I don't really need to do that. You just need to perhaps see how I do it. I'll put a timber frame around the half barrels. The timber frame's just to support these things so they last a lot longer. Yeah, it costs you a sleeper, 2 sleepers on each one. It gives you a nice solid base, elevates it a bit so it's ergonomic. That's just the way we choose to do it. But yeah, 5-week turnaround. Bok choy and pak choy, gotta love that stuff. Lettuce is the same. Spinach, what we call celery beet. Grows in these things like an absolute ripper. But we'll do another video on that. This is a bit of a record for the first seedlings, Anzac Day, so we can do the bit of a countdown and come back to you in about 5 weeks with another video on this. Although it probably won't be 5 weeks. But yeah, and we'll see how we go on. Anyway, cheers from Steve and Kerry from offthegridnoz.com. In our outdoor kitchen, surrounded by, or nearly surrounded by, which was the plan all along from years ago, we'll be totally surrounded by our growing area. And it just gives it a really good feel. Really, really good feel. So we'll catch you on the next one. Subscribe and like if you want. Share if you feel like it. It's up to you guys, you know the drill. Hope you're having a good Anzac Day. It's a sad day to have to celebrate, and it's a happy day to celebrate. Any Anzac Day where you at least remember the loss. Some of us remember the futility of the wars that have passed. It's nice to remember the fallen, but it's nice to remember perhaps to not repeat those mistakes, I think, is probably my take on Anzac Day. Reminds us of what not to do and not to inflict on ourselves and inflict on our loved ones. But yes, hope you've had a good one anyway, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.